Yes, it's one of those videos again. Another video on the Sarkeesian. So let's begin. The title of this is Taking on Games That Demean Women. And the person who made this blog is named Jessie Signal. I sent a message on Twitter, telling him that I'm going to make a video. And hopefully this person is right now watching this video. So let me just go down here. I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to read parts of it. I don't want to turn this into some sort of bedtime story. So let's begin. It's hard for me to imagine what it must be like to be a woman gamer. As a man, after all, my gender is overrepresented in the world of video games. Most game developers are men, and those rare occasions when games offer up compelling nuisance character, they are always male. Plus, when I venture into the online gaming world, no one is going to threaten to rape me or call me a slut. Unfortunately, the opposite is true for female gamers. In short, there is a pretty stark divide between the experience of male and female gamers, and that is why I think Anita Sarkeesian is an important pundit at the moment. No, she is not a very important pundit. She's more like a thorn in someone's backside. She's basically doing things wrong. She's dumb, stupid. In 2012, she launched a Kickstarter campaign to create a new series of videos, this time focusing on portrayals of women in video games, and asked backers for $6,000. This resulted in a campaign of brutal online harassment, including pornographic drawings, such as the one video game character Mario raping her, and an online game since taken down which players could physically assault her. I don't know about you, but this is common with celebrities, including internet celebrities. There's definitely pornographic images of Justin Bieber, Kanye West, and many more, and also beat-em-up games, like on Justin Bieber, many more characters. And Anita Sarkeesian is the only person complaining about it, because I guess she's the holy messiah or something. The silver lining was that the abuse brought the problem of misogyny in gaming some much needed attention, and Sarkeesian's Kickstarter campaign ended up almost $1,600,000, which of course led to complaints that she somehow scammed backers into pulling up so much cash. Well, geez, I find it rather suspicious that someone apparently decides one day to allow comments she allows comments to be on her YouTube channel just to show people that on how misogynist we are. She basically took advantage of it. I mean, if you're going to I don't know, allow certain comments to be on your YouTube channel, and your YouTube videos, and not allow people to oppose you, and then all of a sudden you decide to allow comments on one of your videos just to victimize yourself even further, then you definitely scam people into pitying you. So far, she appears to have put the money into good use. The video, produced in a nightly news style with plenty of clips from the games being discussed, are quite well done and benefit from the high production values of her Kickstarter Winfold allowed her to pursue. The first two videos focus on the damsel in distress trope, a common one in gaming. She plans to release videos on 10 tropes in total. Damsels in distress are more objects than people, women reduced to a state of victimhood, and little else, as she puts it in one of her videos. That is completely false. Damsel in distress is nothing more than a simple plot device. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not a way to dehumanize women, it's just a way to further the plot even further. Sometimes it is the plot. When developers embrace this trope, Sarkeesian argues they trivialize and exploit female suffering as a way to ratchet up the emotional or sexual stakes for the player. The classic example is the princess in Super Mario Bros., but Sarkeesian cites dozens of recent games that display of the full range of developers' creativity when it comes to figuring out the new ways to torture, assault, or brutalize women characters to provide male protagonists a reason to get up in the morning. To Sarkeesian, this isn't just lazy writing, it's building game narratives on the backs of brutalized female bodies. First of all, the male character who's rescuing the female character has to go through hell and back just to rescue this one person. Second of all, Princess Peach is not some pretty face that someone could just capture. This person is very, very important towards her own kingdom. Just imagine America without a president. I mean, the United States would pretty much crumble if we don't have a president of the United States. It's just like that. Excuse me, my throat's a little bit dry. And also, this person truly does care about this female if he's willing to go through hell and back just to rescue her. Is it so freaking wrong to, care for a woman? Apparently for a feminist frequency, yes it is. The video have sparked a predictably bevy of responses on YouTube, as well as what Sarkeesian describes as an exhausting barrage of harassment delivered to her daily on email, Facebook, and Twitter, and some of it quite explicit. Yes, because every comment there is pretty much sexist, isn't it? She thinks the heat directed her way goes back to the gaming culture. This is a deep sense of entitlement coming out of a section of the male gaming community that feels entitled to their games, and they are threatened by the mere idea of someone even talking critically about games, especially a woman talking critically. Let me make this one thing clear. We are not attacking Anita Sarkeesian because she's talking about video games. We are attacking Anita Sarkeesian because she is misrepresenting the community of gaming. She is disrespecting our community. She's basically spitting in our faces and telling us that this is not how we should look at video games. This is how we should look at video games in her own view. Does she ever feel physically endangered? That's complicated, she says. Sometimes there are certain types of harassment that are very graphic and specific, or they are immensely violent and threatening and are tied to concerns about locations. Those are very horrifying for obvious reasons. That's true. What makes Sarkeesian's video so strong is that, like any effective debater, she's an effective debater? Since when? Since when is Anita Sarkeesian a debater? She doesn't debate. She's adept at anticipating rebuttals. In her videos, she explicitly denies the idea of one-to-one casual link between what a gamer sees on screen and how he or she acts in real life. At one point, she allowed the game creators aren't necessarily all sitting around twirling their nefarious-looking mustaches while conclusively trying to figure out on how to best misrepresent women as part of some grand conspiracy, most probably just haven't given much thought to the underlying messages their games are sending. Cultural influence works in much more subtle and complicated ways, she says later. But taken in the aggregate, these games do, she argues, have a powerful ability to shape cultural attitudes and opinions, an argument she will likely continue to flesh out in future episodes, which one covers the tropes like the sexy sidekicks and woman as reward. Which I want to point out that woman as reward is pretty much the same thing as damsel in distress. I mean, they're pretty much the same thing if you think about it. You go through hell and back to rescue someone, And in the end, this girl will obviously kiss you. That's about it. So basically, woman as reward and damsel in distress is pretty much the same freaking thing. When reached a pivotal point with narratives in video games, developers now have as their disposal all the technical tools they need to tell whatever stories they want to tell. And the more creative among them have begun making truly restaurant games that push the emotional frontiers of the medium. Overall, though, especially among mainstream titles, the industry is stuck in something of a rut when it comes to gender, with the same type tropes resurfacing over and over. You know, it's nearly impossible for a woman, according towards Anita Sarkeesian, to not fit into any of these tropes. It's nearly impossible. You know, if it doesn't fit the damsel in distress, it fits in some other trope, like the sexy sidekick, or the sexy villainess, or something like that. In the end, in Anita Sarkeesian's mind, it's just impossible for a woman to not fit into any of these tropes. And the only way to make a good female, a good feminine game is if there was a woman just basically chopping off the balls of men. Because, you know, that's not sexist. That's why Sarkeesian works matter. There simply aren't enough women working at high level in the gaming world for it to correct courses of its own. Mainly because women don't have that much interest in video games in the first place. So only external pressure can improve matters. As critics and fans and the interest parties, we need to put pressure on the industry to say we expect more from you. I expect more from Anita Sarkeesian. You know, like the ability to debate other people on the internet. So what would improvement look like? To Sarkeesian, it's not that complicated. Developers need to make these amazing, awesome AAA titles with a female protagonist, said Sarkeesian. And not a highly sexualized female protagonist, but an actual well-rounded, awesome, complex, deep female character. Which, of course, there are plenty of female protagonist characters out there. You're just not looking in the right direction, Anita Sarkeesian. That's about it. So what is my opinion on this? Jessie Signal. I don't know what to say, dude. All I gotta say is that this person, Anita Sarkeesian, is a crazy person. She's to quote from Warcorp 666, a bubble living bitch. She is not the type of person that can debate, who wants to debate. She's the type of person who speaks out her mind and treats her opinion as some form of fact. That's all I have to say for now. I am the Atheist Gamer. Peace the game out.